Good morning, YouTube. That was the most epic camping spot I've camped at in a long time. It was deadly quiet. Like, you couldn't, there was zero sounds. It was almost weird. But anyway, we've got a 10-mile hike out of this Alstrom Point back to the Smoky Mountain Road, and then from there we'll cross into the we'll cross out of the Glen Canyon Recreation Area into the Grand Staircase-Escalante Park, and then see what there is to see there. It should be pretty neat. I think there's a big climb out of a wash that we'll have to do, and there's a stop to see some coal seams that are burning, and we'll see what else there is today. I slept in a little bit again, and it's 10 o'clock, 10:30 I think, and I'm finally rolling out, so that's fine. I have nowhere to be. Like, why would you be in a hurry here? I would like to find a spot to camp, maybe for 2 nights, and get the bike out. Do a couple loops on the bike. On Gaia, I looked at some routes and found a couple loops that might be okay to do. So with that, yeah. Let's roll out of here. That's closer than I like to get. I'm not a huge fan of heights. But you get the picture. Alright, let's go. Well, like I said, it took about an hour to get back off that road from Alston Canyon. Only 10 miles, but that truck is rough. But anyway, as you can see, we're back at the intersection we left yesterday, and we're gonna take a right and continue on this Smoky Mountain Road and hopefully find some cool stuff. As you can see, it's 58 miles to Escalante. I am not going to be doing that today. Hopefully just a few miles. 10 miles an hour doesn't get you very far. But hopefully I find a nice spot to camp, and maybe with enough daylight left, I'll unload the bike, take a ride, do some exploring, hiking, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let's head out. Okay, where in the hell does this road go? It goes up. I don't know, can you see my map? It goes up. What the? I don't see it. Oh, I guess I do see it. Holy shit. Okay. This should be fun. This is probably the steepest and sketchiest thing I've ever done in this truck. That's impressive. Oh. Wow. I cannot believe I just did that. Well, I mean, I'm not done yet. That was a 4-low first gear climb. I can't believe how steep that was. Okay, I need to drive a little bit. That was exciting, I guess. That was way steeper than I anticipated. Wow, snow. Snow and ice. Yeah, I'm sure the camera did not pick up on how steep and awesome that was. I mean, I've done a lot more sketchy stuff in Moab and Colorado with the Jeep, but it just definitely feels a little more dangerous doing it in a 1-ton truck with a camper and a bike hanging off the back. But this is still ridiculously steep. I hope there's a nice spot up here to stop and catch a view. Where does this go? Oh my gosh. It just keeps winding around. Oh, I see the road. It's, oh geez. It winds around to the left and it looks like it climbs out of this. Holy cow. Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, I think I made it to the top.
Woohoo! Yay!
Oh my gosh. Did I find a campsite? Holy cow. Holy cow. Oh, I need a minute after that. I don't know, can you see the road over there? Goes around. And then I think it goes back behind. Pops out down there. Wow. Video does this no justice. Okay, after my break at the Overlook, I continued down Smoky Mountain Road looking for the coal seam fires. Now, Gaia marked the coal seam fires in the incorrect spot. Possibly there were fires here at one time, but I went up there and I did not see anything. But I did have other coordinates for the coal seam fires down a road that I passed earlier. So I did a little backtracking and went to actually find the real fires. And it was interesting, but not a whole lot to see. You could definitely smell it though.
Deep in the remote landscapes of southern Utah's Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument lies one of nature's strangest phenomena, underground coal seam fires that have burned for centuries, possibly even thousands of years. The most famous is the Big Smoky Fire atop Smoky Mountain in Kane County. Here, thick coal seams within the Cretaceous-aged Straight Cliffs Formation, layers of mudstone and sandstone, ignited long ago, likely by spontaneous combustion or a lightning strike through a fissure. These slow-burning fires smolder deep underground, fed oxygen through cracks in the earth. As the coal burns away to ash, the ground collapses slightly, creating new fissures and vents that release smoke and heat. The area gets its name from the wisps of smoke that have risen for generations, noted since pioneer times. In the 1960s, the U.S. Bureau of Mines tried twice to extinguish the Big Smoky Fire, using water, retardants, and even bulldozers to fill cracks with dirt and rock, but the fire persisted. New cracks formed, proving it couldn't be stopped. Today, as part of the protected national monument, the fire is left to burn naturally as a geological curiosity. It will likely continue until the coal is exhausted. Visitors who venture to this rugged off-road area may spot smoking vents and scorched earth, a reminder of the slow, unstoppable power beneath the surface. Approach with caution. The fumes can be toxic, but stand there, and you're witnessing a fire that's outlasted civilizations, right in the heart of one of America's most dramatic wildernesses.
Well, I hope I was able to save that video clip a little bit by turning it into a funny, nostalgic, sitting in high school science class watching a VHS tape on a giant old CRT TV. The wind totally blasted out all of the audio in that clip. And instead of just doing this, I decided to try something a little funnier. But in reality, the coal seams were pretty interesting. Some extra information about the fumes, though. Um, the fumes typically include a mix of different toxic and hazardous gases. Some of them include carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, which are tiny particles that penetrate deep into your lungs, and other potential toxins such as volatile organic compounds, heavy metals, mercury or arsenic, and a few others. Um, they have very strong acidy or chemical burning smell, and it's probably not something you want to hang around or camp by, but it was pretty neat. campfires go, this one is in a pretty scenic spot. I'll give it that. Wow, it stinks. Too stinky for me. Moving on. Well, a few miles after the burning coal seams, I'm finally coming down off the plateau, and it looks like the road snakes around and ends up down in the valley. Not as dramatic of a road on the north end, but still pretty nice. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now. And I always say I'd like to start looking for a campsite, but I always end up driving further than I really want to. Wow, there's just a lot of nothing out here. They must have got some pretty decent snow out here last week. There's still a lot of snow in the shady areas. That's kind of cool. I bet this would have been completely impassable. Also, every time my camper shifts, the styrofoam mat that I have underneath it starts to squeak, and it drives me insane. I think I want to try a new camera angle. can get through here. Nice camping spot. This is definitely still flowing. It's about 5 o'clock and I decided to stop for the night. The sun just dropped down below the hills back there. So it'll be a little while before sunset, but the big issue is they must have got a lot more snow up here than they did further south. And the roads are getting muddy and slippery. So I need to think about it tonight, and in the morning I'll check the road to the north, and if it's muddy I might just have to turn around, because this is the type of mud that would stick anything. Doesn't matter your tires, lockers, anything. It's a clay and it's just terrible. So we'll see. I hate to backtrack all that way, but it is what it is. So we'll see. Maybe I'll leave a little earlier in the morning. It's supposed to get down into the 40s, so maybe it'll firm up a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. But for now, check out my view and my campsite. Well, here's the campsite. You can see this mud is just the roads are a little better, but if you hit a muddy spot that's kind of off camber towards the giant ravine, it gets a little sketchy. But as far as views go, not bad. Got some snow. Little baby prickly pears. Nice canyon. Anyway, that's my spot for the night. We'll see what happens in the morning. To be continued.